Hey, good afternoon, flyleafs and bookworms. How are you guys doing out there? Happy Friday. Welcome to this week's episode of Author Reads here on Fae Productions. I am your host, Fairy Princess Lolly, and I don't know what you guys think of my new huge, enormous headset, but the old one broke over the weekend, so here we go. You'll have to let me know how I sound out there, because this is its first test run, and I don't even know what I think of it. So first things first for today, though, please like and subscribe. And we're saying tickle the bell because our author today is actually a comedy writer. So tickle the bell, hee. And of course, as always, a shout out to today's sponsor, which is Longship Luxury Goods, run by Lady Yeti. And Longship Luxury Goods has the accessories that you need for your Viking persona. And not just limited to Vikings, though. Belts, pouches, clothing, Viking long coats, mugs, and cups. And they also have fantasy and historically inspired clothing lines, including things that have a little bit of a Fae bent to them. So remember that you can always get free shipping at Longship Luxury Goods with using the magic word imagine at checkout. So please go check them out. She has some really great stuff, handmade, and let them know where you found them. And thank you so much, of course, for being a sponsor here on the show. And then with that said, I think that brings us right in, nice and swift, into our show today. I see you guys out there also in the audience. Hey, I bet you recognize that name, don't you? So today's author, John Drake, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are obviously joining us from afar. Where are you from?
I'm joining you from Dublin, but the real
Dublin.
one.
The real Dublin. Are you drinking a Pangalactic
I should say it's 10 o'clock at night
right
here.
It's 10 o'clock at night. And it's 10 o'clock at night on a... Wait, are you on a Saturday or a Friday?
Friday.
Okay, so 10 o'clock on Friday. So you're not off to an early start. This is right the perfect time. So it's a Pangalactic Guinness, it looked like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I see you. Yes, I have water, but I will give you a cheers. So, from Dublin, are you Irish?
Well, that's a very good question. I'm originally from Liverpool in the UK, but I've been living in Dublin for 16 years now,
wow.
and I just got Irish citizenship this year. So yes, the answer to your question is yes, I'm Irish, but I'm originally from the UK.
Like technically, yes, Irish, but originally from the UK. But well, so that's kind of cool. I know it has nothing really to do with your books, but what inspired you to move there?
Well, it's the usual story. It was a lady. So, there's plenty of British men living in Ireland, but there aren't very many Irish ladies living in Britain. So when I met my now wife in Manchester, in the UK, and Dublin, and she won, and I'm here.
She won, and you're there.
So that's really how it works.
Well, that's a nice little love story there. So please, though, if you will, tell us what it is that you write. What a little bit, because you're kind of a unique author, I think, to our show here today. I don't think we've had anybody on the show yet that writes the genre that you do. So tell us a little bit about what you write and about your genre.
Yeah, and actually there aren't many people doing it. And when I first started writing, I thought I'm going to do something no one's ever done. That's a really good idea. But then, of course, you try to find the genre you want to get it put on Amazon or in bookshops, or whatever, and it's really difficult because you don't know where to put it. But anyway, yeah. So I do comedy, satires mostly, and I have four books out at the moment. Well, sorry, 3 books out, with 1 coming out on the 1st of June. 3 out already are all historical ones. So I've done a comedy called Making Man, which is this guy, and that's a comedy about a Neanderthal engineer. So
Neanderthal inventing the wheel.
Neanderthal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and the reason behind that one was kind of like you alluded to there. I was trying to think of when I decided to write the book. I thought, well, I'll try and pick something that that I haven't seen before, something I haven't done before. And I always knew it wanted to be comedy, because I would be the kind of person who you think of a really good comeback line to say 20 minutes after the conversation's ended, So, but when you're writing, you can do that. That's fine. So you can go back and write. So, so I thought, well, I don't remember any caveman comedies being out there. I think Aardman Animations have since done a cartoon comedy, but none were out at the time. So I thought, well, that'll do. I'll start with that one. So that's what led to Making Man, and then I continued in the same vein. So for my second one, which is Cheating Death, which I'll be reading from shortly. Cheating Death is here. This is a comedy. It doesn't actually look like a comedy from the cover, really, does it? But it's a comedy about the Black Death in 14th century Europe, which is a famously jovial period of medieval history.
Which also may have weird relevance here in 20 relative to 2020.
It's an epidemic sweeping across Europe, So I don't know. I should check whether sales went up or down in 2020 for that. But anyway, but aside from a couple of Monty Python bits, obviously, there hasn't been any and probably for good reason, about the Black Death. So I thought, right, I'll do that one because I had a bit of a vague passing interest in it as well. So so I did that, and then so I finished that one, and then the next one is called Killing Chance, which is a Genghis Khan, or Genghis Khan to the aficionados. It's a comedy about Genghis Khan and his human resources manager.
Is that how it's actually supposed to be pronounced, as Genghis, not Genghis?
Genghis, yeah, apparently, yeah. But you just sound like a bit of a bit of a whatever if you pronounce it like that, because no one knows who you're talking about. But yeah, apparently that's the right way. So the audiobook is actually Brian Stansbury's doing the audiobook at the moment for this, and it'll be Genghis all the way through. So
nice.
So yeah, that's Genghis Khan.
I've learned something already.
There you go. So that one, and the see, I like to do the kind of I like it that the premises are free. So the premise of Killing Chance is that, I mean, Genghis Khan has famously kind of fathered countless children, and people's X percentage of Europe's DNA can be traced back to him and so on. So this story is about him having no kids and trying to find an heir to the throne. So
the complete opposite.
Yeah. And this one, like, it's funny because Making Man was kind of done in a, I don't know, it was first book stuff. It's fun, it's funny in its story. It's a bit Hobbitish, there's a there and back again element to it. But then Cheating Death's more of a, I don't know, it's less whimsical. I suppose probably because it's set during the Black Death, but it's more funny. The comedy in that is more the scene, the setup and the scenes and the scenarios, rather than necessarily than a gag. So the bit I'm reading is about the Pope going out for a shopping trip because he's never been shopping before. So it's more that the idea of that is the funny bit. But then with Killing Chance, I'd obviously had enough of that when I'd finished Cheating Death. So Killing Chance now, I decided to be totally silly. So this is almost a parody. So all the captains of all the regiments have silly names. Excuse me. So the captain of the ballistics is called Captain Wee, but it's Wee with 5 E's. So it's like Captain Wee, because he's the ballistics captain. And it's and then the leader of the Jin city, which is like the ancient Chinese city, is called Ru Ling. And like most of the characters are just named like that, just names, and it's all.
So I saw I saw here when I got your initial. I had a lag there.
Smartass, but spelt in a way that doesn't immediately look like Smartass.
One of us is lagging. I'm not sure which one it is. Oh, okay.
I can hear you okay.
Well, okay, good. I was going to ask about this. So I saw that you had an Independent Audiobook Awards finalist. So audiobook, do you also do readings? Do you do your own readings of your books?
Well, the answer to that will become clear probably in about 5 minutes, and the answer is no. So you'll know that when I start reading. But no, so I get I have Brian Stansbury does it for me, and he's a a brilliant audiobook narrator. And so far, and hopefully Zoomers will down the line be in production as well. So better English accent than I have, and he's from
I am definitely having
Washington.
a lag here. That is
so. Yeah, he's brilliant, but they're both available, and he does. I'm more used to reading to a 6-year-old, so it could be more comedy listening to my accents than what I'm actually reading aloud.
I'm curious. So, how's your Irish accent coming along?
I'll just begin with that. Oh my god! If I tried to do an Irish accent to any of my Irish friends, they would laugh me out of the room. But I've definitely picked up the. I mean, I've been. In fact, I've just done it there. So I pick up the shore and the so. I've been here 16 years, so everything is. Oh, you'll do that, or So there's a bit of an Irishness. I think when I'm here, people think I have a Liverpool accent where I grew up, but when I go home to Liverpool, they all think I have an Irish accent. So it's kind of probably somewhere in between. The two.
Yeah. That is wonderful and excellent. So today you're going to be reading to us from these two books, Cheating Death and the Caveman one. And which one are we going with first here? Cheating Death?
I'm doing Cheating Death first, and then I'm going to do Zoomers, the sci-fi comedy, which is out on the 1st of June. Zoomers. I'm going to do the first opening scene in that. So nobody has read or heard that yet, except me and my boss who popped up earlier on. So
yes.
So will I crack on then? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a real quick here for everybody watching out there at home. First, so what's going to happen here is I will shortly turn the entire screen over to John. I will be in the background on mute and in the live chat with you guys so that I can take questions, which we will then pose to John after he is done reading from his two books. And then after that, of course, we have our drawings. So with that said, are you ready to go, sir?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Here is your screen.
There we go. Okay, so this is set in the Black Death of 14th century Europe, and this short extract, it's only 4 pages or so, is the Pope. The Pope has been persuaded by a friend of his to go out shopping. To really find out what his people think of what's going on, basically. Without them knowing he's the Pope, so he goes in disguise. Okay. God's representative on Earth stepped out from the lobby and into the cool air outside his palace. He didn't notice the 2 guards at the doorway, so still were they remaining, and so ubiquitous had they become to his existence. He walked the long path out to the boundary of the palace grounds and stepped unaccompanied into the wider landscape for the first time in years. He had no idea in which direction he lay, and a blend of exhilaration and trepidation swirled around his stomach as he tried to choose a course in which to travel. It was precisely this kind of knowledge that was the peril of the ruling class, deemed too trivial a detail for men of power, yet vital if the entourage was to make it to that party with a free cake before sunset. He set out in an arbitrary direction to an undetermined destination, taking in the scenery that passed at the speed he deemed most enjoyable. He stopped at a small bridge and leaned over the edge to see the running water below, taking an unexpected pleasure from the simple scene. A wave of nostalgia sloshed over him, of days gone by when the weight of the world did not rest on his shoulders, of endless weeks when he could do as he pleased, within reason, and walk the streets unrecognized. He stopped again a few paces along the road, this time to look at two squirrels that seemed to be having some kind of fight. He marveled at their ferocity when, to anyone passing by, it would seem a futile effort to be staking a claim to such a small patch of woodland at the side of a road. When he realized they weren't fighting at all, and were in fact doing quite the opposite, he turned away quickly and carried on along the hard mud road towards the city. It had taken him about half an hour, but he was now within smelling distance of the merchant quarter. He wandered up and down the streets and marveled at how such things had moved on since his. He marveled all the more at how they had, against all historical evidence, moved backwards rather than forwards. There seemed to be fewer merchants in here. But not more. And the range of goods on sale was much narrower than before, almost red and grain. Those selling goods seemed to be almost entirely stocked with religious artifacts, a sight that should have filled him with pride and stroked his ego. But they were too saturated their frequency to be a result of his leadership alone. Something else was happening here, and he wasn't quite sure he was going to like it when he found out what it was. He stepped up to a crooked doorway with myriad religious items on display, coughing to get the attention of the dozing shopkeeper. Oh. Quite so. Now, tell me, young man, what would you like to sell to me today? Said Pope Clement VI, Master of Avignon, and would be winner of the inaugural Naive Shopper of the Decade award. The shopkeeper was a little taken aback. It sounded like a trick question, so he answered honestly, the purse in front of him. All of it I'd like to sell to you today. Well, yes, said the Pope. Which would that be then? How much? Bloody hell, said the shopkeeper, staggering a little. I mean, right, yeah, well, fingers. Hang on, give me a minute. Joan, I need your fingers now. Up his outstretched. Here, and hurry up, Leonard. I've got a pot on. Clear the crosses on the floor. Mathematics was never his strong point on top. Then a little more. 100 forints, and I'll throw in these rosary beads for nothing. Say fairer than that now, can you? Clement VI was ignorant of both of his right to nod at his guard to pay the man. Ah, said, I'll tell you what you can have. It's this pocket-sized statue of St. Francis. He picked up a small pleasing wood, no bigger than an egg, and lifted it up towards the sky in a show of unabashed salesmanship. Is that part of the true cross? Said Clement, my wise man. This is the very offered part of that, eh? Houses up and down the street can offer you a piece of the tree. It can be safely assumed that they are not all legitimate. How many times have you one that has been seen by our Lord himself, and I'm giving it to you for nothing, said the Pope with genuine intrigue. Unfortunately, I have come out without my purse. Can we agree on this? The shopkeeper had given his best performance for some time, and all he received in return was rising from his chest, battling with his inner salesman for control over the rest of people, just to toy with him like a marionettist. I look forward, but may the venom of his holiness pass over your head. Clement was pulled in every emotional direction. He had never experienced such a personal attack since Lando was out of the question if he was to remain anonymous. It would be unproductive. He could not allow such a perception of himself to go unchecked, stepping on his words carefully like a talking on a wet floor. I do mean anything, including threats to any unintentional misunderstandings. Clement had thundered back into casting his ample shadow over the now cowering man. He was an expert at looming ominously. The Pope wasn't the only man who could intimidate people in this city, he reasoned. He could be enjoyably menacing without necessarily enough to open the floodgates. I will have these trinkets. It will become your means of life. People of weak substance will come to you for guidance and comfort, as the man who met me on this day. Let it be enough. I would choose your next words carefully, my kind, lowly shopkeeper. Here, I'll take it, thank you, said Pope Clement, enjoying the shopping kindly shopkeeper. So hopefully I can get this working. So this is the opening scene to Zoomers, which is a science fiction. It's very different to Cheating Death. And this is out on the 1st of June, and the scene match is.
John, can you hear me?
Peacock Lane, isn't it? Said Clobber. People are too handle of another door. You can't be too careful with so many unscrupulous people prowling the streets. Oh, like us, you mean? Oh, good God, no. There's more refinement about us, isn't there? It's all good for your indiscriminate.
John, can you hear? I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you hear what I'm? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. He is totally frozen on my screen, and I don't know what to do right here.
But we factor in a bit of diluted
John,
morality,
can you hear
don't we?
me?
Domiciles. Plus,
Hello, John.
we're not on
John,
the streets. We're
can you hear
indoor.
me? Hello.
Maybe this job will be our ticket out of here. Imagine, Scratch, a life with real meaning. There'd be no more taken from the rich to line our pockets. I'd rather not, if it's all the same to you. I'm on a crusade, brother. I won't rest until the last pearl has been emancipated. That's very altruistic of you. What if you complete this grand crusade, though? Where will your motivation come from? A bottle, I'd imagine. Arm gave way slightly as a handle turned. Jackpot. Two morally inclined thieves peered into the apartment. Expensively dull paintings lined the walls in a haphazard pattern, and unpolished brass ornaments cluttered every elevated ledge. Above an oversized table. Perfect. But Scratch, pulling his tweed flat cap down tightly and rubbing his gloved hands together. Now, drawers or cabinets? Cabinets this time. I think I fancy a little porcelain jug for mother. Right, you are. I'll start in the bedroom. Scratch opened the dark wooden door and stepped into what would have been an entirely unremarkable room if it wasn't for the spiraling purple and black vortex to one corner and the shiningly clad life form with short legs and inconveniently long arms standing 2 paces in front of him. said Scratch. I will assume you do it this way, please. It said, pointing at the improbably localized maelstrom. Sorry, I'm Stroll Space. I don't know how you survived this long. Yeah, I can, yeah. Yeah. I can hear you. Hello? Will I carry on?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I'll just carry on until someone kicks me off.
Okay. Can you hear me now? I'm trying. Let's see here. Can you hear me now? No sound, nothing. Dang it. Okay. So I will. I can. Yeah, I cannot hear you, and our audience sadly cannot hear you. We are having very, very bad lag, enough that every.
I can hear you.
Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and try to log out and come back. And yes.
Will I carry on? I have no idea if I should carry on.
No, don't. Okay, there we go. All right, now we'll see if he's going to come back here in a second, and we'll see if maybe this will solve our problem, because I super want to hear some of these. I was really excited to hear a comedy author for the first time on our show, and dang it, maybe it's because he's so far away in Ireland. I'm pretty sure distance probably doesn't matter too much, though. But hey, we can blame it on distance, right? So, well, you guys, I would say that thank you, Newt, for the question out there, actually. And if he comes back and we can hear him, we'll go ahead and try to get some of those. Oh no, get some of those questions to him. Well, hopefully, William, I see this here. And I will say, hopefully, if we can figure it out, or if we don't figure it out, then he's welcome to come back on the show and try again. I'm certainly not against that. But let's see if we've got it. He's down here again. Hold on. Let me pull him in. Nope. John, can you hear me? You look totally frozen to me. I haven't seen you move once. So let's see. I will go ahead and do this. Boo and hiss. This week has just been like a crazy week. I'm going to send him a message here. Okay. So I think that because of the lag, we're going to go ahead and have to try to give this a second shot here on a future date. It was blank for me, and then I got just a frozen picture of him. So clearly that did not, the logging out and logging in didn't solve the problem. So I think with that said, though, man, thanks to him for trying, and hopefully maybe he can futz around with it a little bit, and we can try again here in the future. I'm super happy to do that. I guess, you guys, that will that will kind of bring us to an odd end to today's show. Because it's Author Reads Friday, and I got a new book in the snail mail yesterday that was Oriental Fairy Tales. I decided that I wanted to do a Fairy Tales for Fossils live reading tonight of some story or another. I haven't decided. I did put a little poll up on Patreon. So go vote, because you have your choice between Norse fairy tales, which I haven't read from yet, Old Hungarian fairy tales, which I've read one from, or the Oriental fairy tales, which I just got yesterday, so I haven't read anything from that. So go put your vote in for which book you want me to read from tonight, and I will pick a story from one of those and read it live with you guys. You can tune in with me later on this evening, and we'll just chill out and hang out, and I will read a live story, and we'll see how, just to hang out and do a thing. So that was my kind of plan for the evening. And yes, I do agree. Actually, his premises were pretty hilarious. And so I'm really kind of bummed that I didn't get to hear any of these. Yeah, I don't know. So I sort of want to go just buy the caveman one, because a caveman engineer sounds pretty funny to me as well. So, yeah, I feel so bad for him, but I will reach out to him after the show. Thank you, everybody, though, for tuning in. We gave it a good old try there. So, yeah, I know it. Yes, and this was also this was going to be the first hearing of it, and our audience was going to be the first people to hear it, and then internet, why are you so cruel? So. Yeah, so anyway, we are on Friday. That means our next show will be Wednesday for Fae News. There was supposed to be a hedge game this Saturday, you guys. I am going to push it to next Saturday, because we have some recruiting efforts that we want to do, and also because of the way that the days lined up this month, it made the two games really quite close together. So hedge game next Saturday, not this Saturday. And with that said, then I will let you guys go and have a happy Friday. And please remember, you can always come hang out with us in Discord. And the links for all of that are below, as well as John's links. So if you were able to hear better than I was, and you got a little taste of it, please go ahead and check out his work on the websites that are there. So with all of that said, then I think that's everything for today. And I will talk to you guys very soon, and enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Hello, friends. This is Gunther Hammerhands. Thank you for checking out Fairy Princess Lolly's channel. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Use your troll hammer to ring that little bell icon to get notifications when she posts future videos. And if you'd like to support these magical creations, fly over to our Patreon and join the Fairy family. Safe travels.